name is Gavin Evans, and this is my spoiler review for the 2018 game God of War. So this will be an in-depth review, so if you haven't played this game, go and play it and then come back and watch my review, because I will be talking about all the different plot points, which admittedly there's not enough to discuss really. There's not a ton to discuss. So let's just get into it. The entire quest of having to spread the mum's ashes, I had zero attachment to. They should have been some sort of flashbacks or something, so I felt any sort of investment in this quest, because at no point did I ever care. But you're going along on this journey with your kid, and then eventually you get back to your house and you get attacked by this stranger. And this fight is awesome. This fight is, you just feel the impact of everything going on here. It's really great stuff. But by the end of the game, and maybe I just missed something huge, but I don't get why he attacked Kratos. Like, why did this baller dude attack him? Like, I thought it was going to reveal that Kratos killed someone of his past before, but no, that doesn't seem to be the case. In fact, all of Balder's issues seem to be regarding his mom. So why would he go to this house and just attack Kratos? And throughout the entire game, you see him and all these other gods throughout being like, oh, we gotta find the man and his son. And I'm just thinking, why? Maybe I missed something absolutely huge, but it had no relation to the main plot, it seemed like. Like, wouldn't it have been better if it turned out that man, knew what Kratos had done before and he wanted revenge against Kratos? But no, they take this story that he hates his mom, and because his mom put a curse on him. Which just comes out of nowhere, mind you. I wish that could have had an entire build-up to it, but it really doesn't. So, why? Why does this guy want to fight Kratos so badly? I don't get it. But anyways, you gotta go up this mountain, but there's some black magic fog blocking your path, so you go on this completely repetitive side quest to get by it. And this is my biggest issue with the game, because it just feels like this happens non-stop throughout. I didn't really care about all these different areas you were going to, because they didn't feel essential to the quest. They just felt like, oh, well, we can't get up there, so I guess we're going there. So because it felt so contrived to even go to all these different locations, I didn't really care that we were going to all these different locations. But anyways, you eventually make your way past the black magic fog, and then you're going up the mountain, and there's I actually don't know his name, but it's the dude who's stuck to the tree, and you get up there, and he's just like, what? This isn't the highest mountain, you big dumb doofus. No, that's in the giant realm. And it's just like, of course. So they accomplished the goal, only for a surprise, they didn't actually. So now they gotta go on this bunch of other side quests. It's just very lazy writing, if you ask me. And anyways, you do all this stuff to eventually get there. You fight these two other gods, and it's just like, why are you fighting these guys? The characters aren't established. Why do they hate you so much? Like, why should I care about what's going on now? What are the stakes? And this game just lacks any of that, especially regarding to these two gods. But then anyways, you're about to accomplish the Ties Voxing. Well, then somebody comes out of nowhere with no build-up to it whatsoever. So this just feels like a random event. But eventually, the boy just gets injured. So then you take him back to Freya. And then she's like, I need this stuff from Helheim, the Hell realm. And then it's another side quest that detaches from everything. But at least you actually feel the stakes here. At least you actually want the character to get better. But then the game does a very questionable thing here. You get on a boat and you head back home. And you're heading back home, and it takes about 3 minutes to get there. And you do get this awesome moment where you get the blades again. It's so nice to hold them and to fight with them. But at the same time, it completely pulls you out of the entire journey element of this game. Because the entire game, Bowie is just like, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. This is incredible. This is insane. Oh my god. But am I really supposed to believe that he's never once seen any of this stuff? Because the game begins and you're already walking around this land. And am I supposed to believe that he didn't go 5 minutes more out there than you were at the beginning of the game? Because it's quite clear at this point, if it took you 3 minutes to get back home, that all this stuff is like in your backyard. Like if I was living at this place and I found out I had all these different realms behind me, I'd go check them out. So the entire game, boy's just like, oh my goodness, look at this stuff. It's all so cool. I've never seen anything like it. But it's like, I don't know. I've seen my backyard plenty of times, haven't you? Just something that took me out of it. But the boy gets better. You tell him the truth. And this moment should have had huge impact about who he is, who you are. And I just felt nothing here. Like, it just felt like, oh, he's telling him now just for the sake of it. Like, it just didn't feel like a natural progression at this point. Like, the boy's better, and then he's just like, now I need to tell you something. It just felt contrived. I didn't buy the character beat here. But I did love how the boy acted after this moment. He just became so arrogant, so insufferable. He's just acting like a complete dick. He's disobeying his dad. He's just like, oh my goodness, we are the greatest. Everyone else is beneath us. And the truth is, if a kid found out he was a god, he'd probably act in that kind of way. So I thought that stuff was really great. But you make your way to the top of the mountain. You're about to get to where you need to go. And then of course, Bardo comes out of nowhere. Yes, another random event. And he's just like, nope, I gotta drag this game on for another 5 hours. So then you do get this great cutscene. Well, the kid's arrogance is fully on display. He attacks his dad. And this cutscene is fantastic. But as soon as this bridge is gone and they end up in Helheim, I'm just like, really? Another way to drag this plot out even farther? Because now we gotta find another way to get to the giant realm. Like I said, it's just incredibly contrived. The fight on the back of the dragon is pretty cool. You know, it's not like the funnest boss fight ever, but visually it is really interesting. But anyways, then you make your way around Helheim, and that's when you come across this big dude who's got a sword and a shield. And this guy, like, if he hits you twice, sometimes just once, you're dead. And I just never had an ounce of fun fighting these guys. No, not fun. There was a point where it's just like, okay, yeah, this is just getting ridiculous. And that's what I felt at this moment. But then anyways, you're making your way through Helheim. You eventually find Bardo, who's also down there, and you sneak around him. And then you fight these guys in a small area. And then you get on a boat, and it flies off. And I just don't understand, how didn't Bardo see you? Like, you're right there. You just saw him like 2 minutes ago, and he can't see this giant boat floating up, and it's obviously you? Yeah, I didn't buy that. But anyways, there's this big fight on this boat, and there's so many moments where you're on an elevator or a boat, and they just go on forever. But whenever the elevator or boat is getting attacked and it starts getting damaged as you make your way to where you need to go, those moments I did really like. Like, it's just like you're on this boat and it slowly starts to fall apart and you're trying to keep it together. And yeah, I thought that stuff was really great. Same whenever an elevator does that. But I have noticed there's lots of moments where you're just on one platform for a very long time. But then anyways, you get this flashback of what Kratos did to Zeus, and he's just like, to his son, do you have any questions? And his son's just like, I didn't see anything. And I thought that was a good moment. But anyways, you eventually make your way to the Bifrost, and you're finally about to accomplish your quest, and of course it freaking doesn't work. So contrived. So anyways, you gotta go into the belly of the snake. Okay, so when I was a kid, I watched the VeggieTales movie, Jonah, a lot. And there was a song in that movie called, In the Belly of the Whale, I'm swimming with fishes here. In the belly of the whale. And while I was doing this sequence, all I could think was, I'm swimming with fishes here. In the belly of the snake.
I'm highly nutritious here. In the belly of the whale.
I don't know, there's something that went through my head. But anyways, you make your way through the snake, which, okay, interesting in the idea, but in the execution, it's not as exciting as it sounds. And then you get blah, 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 all this stuff happens, and you're now fighting Bardo, and Freya wants to protect him, and this entire moment is just fantastic. I did love this boss fight. Now, did I really care why I was fighting Bardo? No. But the relationship of Kratos and Boy, as it's built up to this point, just the way they work together to take him down it is actually so satisfying. Like when Kratos and Bardo going down and boy's just shooting him with a bunch of arrows, and when he's Kratos punching him and then the boy hits him with the ball, that stuff just, I was just like, okay, this is freaking awesome. Like this moment is easily the best moment in the entire game, because it's like payoff to a relationship that has built up to for the entire game, and it's just so satisfying to see. But anyways, Freya's just like, don't you dare kill my son. So then Kratos lets him go, and then he goes to kill Freya, and then Kratos kills Bardo. And truth is, I just never cared about Bardo or Freya in that kind of way. And Freya then hates Kratos, and they have this talk about how if his son was trying to kill him, he wouldn't fight back because that's the kind of love a parent has for their kid. And I'll go into that a bit more in just a sec, but I actually love the idea behind that. I'll just get into it now. So we get this awesome reveal at the end of this game that the boy's actually Loki, and I thought that was a perfect reveal. Like, perfect. I loved it. Like, I had no clue, but just the way it was revealed, like, you could just feel the impact of that moment. So that's awesome stuff. So, if his son turns out being evil and tries to kill his dad, like, there could be some really interesting parallels going on, and that's when I'm just like, okay, I kind of want to see where this story is going to go with Ragnarok. Like, I don't like these games, but I do want to see if this story will be told effectively. Like, the idea of a father having to fight his son, a relationship that has been built up to very well. Like, there's just so many tragic elements the next game could explore. By the point that this review comes out, it might have already been explored. Heads up, I'm filming this in November of 2021, so just saying, if the game's out now, I don't know anything about God of War Ragnarok, but I'm excited to see that story come into play. So yes, and I like how you kind of get some foreshadowing here about how Kratos said that he would let his son kill him, because that's how much he loves him. Great stuff. You make your way to the giant realm, you spread the mother's ashes, and like I said, I had zero emotional investment in this. When it happened, I should have felt something, but I just didn't, and that's just the biggest bummer. Just a few additional things to add though. There's two brothers who you see throughout the game, and I do like them as characters, and I do like the fact that at one point they make up and they're like, okay, fine, we'll help you, Kratos. I thought that was a good moment. The graphics, like I said, are amazing, but there's one moment specifically where you're in the water and then the serpent comes up and he's right next to you, and the graphics in that scene are just amazing. And I'll also say that there's a secret ending. I didn't even know about it, so I guess that's why they call it a secret ending. But I watched it before filming this review, and I hate it. I think it's a really, 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 really bad ending. I hate this kind of ending. First of all, that is one long-ass sleep. Like, I would love it if I could sleep as long as they did. Like, 4 years? That's insane. Like, I'm a tired man, but I don't even think I could ever sleep that long. Just the type of ending where the hero's about to face another threat just before the credits roll. I've never liked this kind of ending. I find it to be very lazy. Because I can guarantee you, and I could be wrong, but I would bet that God of War Ragnarok doesn't begin with this fight happening between Kratos and Thor. I doubt it will. Now, if it does, kudos to them for the continuity. But even then, it's just like, okay, so what was the point of having this be the ending? Couldn't we have this ending be part of that opening then? Like, why not just make your ending to be completely conclusive? Like, isn't that the goal of an ending? The only time I can think about an ending where the main character is about to face someone and it ends right there, that was done really well, was the Liam Neeson movie The Grey. But aside from that, I can't think of any other example. I hate this kind of ending. But like I said, I do like the two main characters. I do like it when they fight Mordor together at the end. It's so badass. And there are good elements throughout this entire game, but the story as a whole is just a complete disaster. Oh, I'm about to do this? Never mind. Gotta drag this out longer. Just every single word block and detour feels so contrived. There's so much backtracking to the point where it just drives you crazy. I think it's a poorly structured and poorly told story in regards to that. All these other supporting characters, I guess I like Freya, and I guess I like the character of Mordor, but the way they come into the plot is they just come and go it just all feels very random. It doesn't feel like there's a cohesiveness behind it. So because of those reasons, I just find this story to be a complete mess. But what do you think of the God of War 2018 story? Do you think it's a complete mess? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin